Welcome everybody to your Seven Square podcast. I'm back with my main man, Mr. Corey Sigue. Corey, how's it going today?
Oh man, everything's good on this end, taking it a day at a time. Um, man, but I'm talking about really good start to the year, really good start to the year. So I'm excited. I'm excited for this topic today.
Absolutely, because this topic, and it was another person that posted it, and it made it just real to me because I was trying to understand how people say they want something or they want to go to the next level, or I want to, even in fitness, I want to get healthy, I want to get strong, I want to lose weight, I want my business to be $1 million business, all this different stuff people say they want, but then we see that they don't actually do what's necessary to get there. So the question then becomes, Corey, is your comfort zone bigger than your why? Because they always say your why got to be huge. For you to accomplish any of these things, you got to have a big why. But if your comfort zone is bigger than your why, you might just stay in that same stuck place that you're always in. So let's jump into it, Corey. Let's break that down. Tell me what your first thoughts are about your comfort zone and your why.
Yeah. So when you brought this topic to me, I think about the majority of people that I run across. Everybody's always like, I have this why, I want to make this impact, I want to do these things. But then it's the second part that gets them. Is the comfort zone too big for it? I don't think that people don't have whys or what they get up to do. And we can another topic on another day. Are you truly going after your why? Because I hear a lot of whys that pop up
Mm.
that I'm like, whatever. But we're gonna get into that later. So is your comfort zone too big for it? Absolutely, because what we see is people saying they want to do these grand things and they want to make this impact and everything. And then all of a sudden, when you approach them and say, hey, do you want to do this? Hey, how about you take a step to do that? Hey, how about you go on a limb and try these things? And then it's like, well, wait, I wasn't quite ready for that. Like, so I really want to hear from you. And then I'm going to go in a little bit, but I do believe that, just to kind of give y'all a preface, I do believe that most people's comfort zone, the majority of you, so yes, that's probably you listening right now, the majority of you, your comfort zone is keeping you back from actually obtaining that why. But I want to hear from you because I was like, I know he got something. He has something for this.
I do. And the thing that I think about the most is, why is it the stories we hear of success are people that were homeless, they were broke, sleeping in my car, I'm eating out garbage cans, I hit rock bottom. Why is it that a lot of those people, not all of them, but a lot of those people end up becoming super successful? It's because they are in so much pain, there is no comfort zone. So the why is the only thing they have that drives them, that motivates them, and they get out of the situation. Now, for your middle upper class individual, got a nice job, driving a nice car, family doing pretty well, making upper five, six figures, that comfort zone a little bit more comfortable. It's like, I want to be free from the 9 to 5, because that's what we hear most. I want to be free from the 9 to 5. I hate going to my day job every day, but it ain't big enough. That why ain't big enough to give up that comfort of what they have. And so even some people say, well, how about you downsize? How about you trade that car in and get a used car? Well, I built up this certain lifestyle. I got this certain standard. So your comfort zone is bigger than your why, is what you're saying. And even if the comfort zone is detrimental, and Corey, I think this is important, your comfort zone, even though you're comfortable, can still cause you pain. You just become so numb to the pain and used to dealing with that pain that is now comfortable. And you fear the change of going out and doing something new. You think that's going to be more painful than the pain you already in. So that's what I feel and hear most when people say, you know what, I really want to do X, Y, and Z, but I ain't willing to give up what I got already. And that shows when you're not willing to make the change, to give up where you are to get what you want or what you dream about, then your comfort zone is bigger than your why.
Yeah, and I mean, you said it perfectly. I mean, it's right here, right? Like, you have to give up who you are to become like who you need to be. And as you were talking, it was making me think. And even the topic that when you brought it to me, I just had a conversation with an individual. They said, "Man, I just finished I was number one in the department. You know, I'm doing great. I've been here a few years. And then I said, okay, cool. So what's the next step? And they say, oh, well, I don't know if I want to move. I said, well, let me ask you this. I said, why you get up and do what you do? And she said, man, because of my kids, and I want to give them a great lifestyle. And, you know, just even for myself, I want to push myself to be the best person that I can be. And I said, okay, cool. I said, well, let's stop and think about that second spot. Um, if you continue to stay in this position that you're in right now, right? You've already hit number one. Is there any place that you can go next to test your skills? She was like, oh, there's a bunch of places I can go to test my skills. I said, cool. So I said, the other day I approached you about the situation and you said, no, I don't know if I want to move just quite yet. And then I asked you, what type of lifestyle did you want to live? What type of income did you want to have? And you described it to me and you said, hey, I want to make X amount of money and I want to make this type of impact for people. And I want to like I know that I'm number one and I want to pour my information into other people to where they can also become as good as I was. I said, cool. But do you think you're too comfortable? Because I just said that the slot is open now. You should apply for it. And then you said, oh, I think I'll wait on it.
Yeah.
Now, granted, there's a few different things where it might not be the right timing. Taking on a different position might cause a different schedule, which conflicts with another why of like her kids, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say for the majority of the time, we always make the schedule work out. And then you come back and say, oh, whoa. What do you mean change?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm okay with like leaving my number one pedestal. I don't know if I'm okay with leaving and into the great unknown where I don't know if I'm going to do good at this or not. And I'm reminded of a quote that we said today. It said, uncommon people, or I should say, and don't bash me for the quote or whatever. I'm about to butcher it, but essentially it said, we get crowned for doing uncommon things that the normal person won't. We justify our actions by saying that things are practical and realistic for us to obtain. But it also limits us from dreaming the big picture and putting out a big vision for us to actually hit it. So why wouldn't we then shift our mindset to saying the practical use is to think as further ahead, like as far ahead as I can. That way I can achieve what I'm actually supposed to achieve. Thinking practically is cool, but it also limits you to this much of what you can actually do. And I think in that case, it's like you're sitting in a situation, someone listening right now, you're sitting in a situation right now saying, I'm okay doing what I'm doing. I'm telling my friends that I have all these dreams. I'm telling my coworkers that I'm going to be XYZ one day. I'm going to be the president of the company one day. And then when your opportunity arises or the work that you're putting in to gain a different skill set comes, you say, well, hold up. I don't think I'm ready for this change. When in reality, no one's ready for change. It's when you jump in and you acclimate to itself. Human beings are some pretty spectacular beings. Like we can get punched in the mouth and then get back up and be like, oh, okay, cool. That doesn't hurt. So
Absolutely. And that's good, Corey, because I just had a client that I was speaking with, and she was like, how do I sign up to do something that I never did before? And I said, everybody started ground zero. Like, you got to tell people that you do this in order to do it so you can have the experience. That's how it works. But we let our comfort zone hold us back to think, if I haven't done it. And I think what happens is, as we grow, we're more, we have more imagination, we have more curiosity, we do more as children. So there's some things that we learn. But as we get older, we forget that we used to take that leap of faith, that we used to just jump out there. And now we believe that if we haven't done something yet, it's too late to try it because I'm too comfortable where I am. So I'm not going to get outside of my comfort zone to make the change. Corey, you said it. You cannot become something new holding on to something old. You can't keep the same information and think you're going to get a different result or do something different. So now we're almost halfway through here. We gave you the theory behind it. We explained it. How do you, Corey, give me one, 3 steps on how to start to get out of the comfort zone and into that new area that will take you closer to your why? Because The why is the journey. Let's just break that down. The why is the vision, is the mission, is what you want your life to be, is the end result. That's the why. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Because I want to be or I want to see X, Y, and Z. So, Corey, how do we get there? How do we get outside of where we're comfortable, even though it hurt? I'm telling you, I done been in some parts where it hurt, but I held on to it because it was easier to hurt than to make a change. And that's crazy. It's easier to be in pain than to make. You know how many people sick, Corey? How many people overweight? How many people are hurting? How many people broke? How many people are in situations that they don't have to be in just because they don't want to try something new? How do we begin to try something new to move us towards where we want to be?
Yeah, I think everything flows with momentum. You have to create it somehow, right? You talked about being in rooms where it hurts, and I was even saying this the other day. I was around a group of people, and they said, "Hey, I know you're really outspoken. You were kind of just more observant this time." And I was like, "Yeah," because I was nowhere near the smartest person in the room, so I need to soak it in. I said, if I open my mouth, I was gonna sound crazy to all of y'all. But I said I liked it because I was like, man, I really had to force myself to sit back and be like, shut up. Like it hurts for me not to think of myself because I walk in every room, honestly, and I'm like, I belong here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I belong, but there's times where you have to soak it in and times where you got to pour out. I think how you begin to do that is you create momentum by putting yourself in situations like that. Does it hurt at the beginning? Absolutely. Because you're sitting here like, I sound real dumb. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know the verbiage. I don't know the vision that they have. I don't know I don't know whatever they're talking about. I don't know. And that's not quite comfortable because I'm used to knowing. That's the problem with people. We're so used to knowing, therefore we don't go do something else. So you have to
That's
put
good.
yourself in situations that you said, but you got to create momentum. Go find the next room that you can get into that you don't know, right? Go find the next video that you were like, man, I used to think like this, but now I don't think like this. I used to not know about this. Tyrus, for the longest time before I even got into speaking, I just used to listen to videos, and at a certain point, I was like, "Oh, they're motivational." But then I was like, "No, let me see what the cadence is like. Let me see what this is
Mm.
like. Let me see how they deliver this particular thing." And I'm not perfect, but eventually, everybody was like, "Man, you presented that so well. Oh man, I just love how you did this." And I was like, "I was just watching a few videos, like." But I had to also put myself out of my comfort zone instead of saying, "Well, let me go listen to music. I'm going to listen to this video. Well, let me spend time watching TV. I'm going to read this book." Right? I forced myself to gain momentum doing things that I did not want to do, to where all of a sudden I was like, "This is nothing for me. I'm just going to continue." It's almost like I'm a glutton for pain. I'm just going to continue to throw myself in a
Mm-hmm,
room and get
mm-hmm.
beat up, and then it's like, okay, level up, Corey. Like, and now it's time to go. So I think that's the first step you need to take in really bringing yourself to, how do I gain the momentum and take the step to get out of my comfort zone.
Love it. Love it. I think for me, and this might be a step before your step, but however they want to arrange it, as you as the listener, however you want to arrange it, I think the next step is just having awareness that there is another level. Like
Oh, for sure.
there's never a stopping point. There's always the next thing. So when you get comfortable, you should be seeking the next thing to be uncomfortable. If you're the smartest person in the room, you should be seeking, like Corey said, that room where you don't feel like you're the smartest. If you have the most money, then you need to get in a group where you at the bottom of the money because you want to be almost like going to the next ceiling. So when I hit the next ceiling, that becomes my floor. Then when I go to that next ceiling, that becomes my floor. And so as you go up, you can help others follow the path behind you, but you have to get out of the comfort zone of saying, you know what? And I'm not saying that if you are in the comfort zone and you are truly content and comfortable, if you are good, stay there. But that there's no room to say, I want X, Y, and Z. I'm comfortable, but I still want it. You either comfortable or you not. And so we got to get away from being a being miserable because that's what that is. When you hate to get up Monday through Friday, you're miserable. Do something about it and do what Corey said. Start moving so you can gain momentum. The more momentum you gain, if the ball is rolling downhill, the further it goes, the faster it starts moving. Got to get momentum by moving. Keep awareness. Think about the next room. Just say it to yourself. I'm working to get to this level, but when I get to this level, what's the next one? And what's the next one? And what's the next one? And so, Corey, give us one more and we'll get out of here.
Yeah, so my final one, because you know what, that was pivotal in what you said there. The final piece to that though is create your next comfort zone. And the way that you do that, so you're aware of like, okay, I don't know everything. I know that I need to take the next steps. I'm putting myself in the rooms, that man, it hurts, and I don't know the information. The next step from there is to create the next comfort zone for you, right? Because you'll always be aware of where you are. You'll always be throwing yourself into other places, but also you don't want your comfort zone to be so far over here that you're like, okay, well, let me run back all the way over the bridge, all the way back over here. And then your comfort zone is so far away that it reverted you 15 steps back. So create the new comfort zone. But how do you do that? You take the information that you learned and go teach somebody about it. You take the information that you're gathering and go teach somebody how to change their comfort zone. Go teach somebody the information that you've been gathering, like pull them up from somewhere. And once you become comfortable in teaching someone else the information that you already know, boom, you got a new comfort zone now. And that's the playing field that you can be in, because you can easily speak about this information. And now you're like, oh, at minimum, and I ain't here to talk about guns, tires, but they always say when you practice and you like carry your gun on you, when you practice, when you get into a stressful situation, you revert back to the lowest level of training that you have.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing for life. When you practice your mindset, when you practice your skill set, your verbiage, the knowledge that you have, when things get stressful, you got to run back to that comfort zone. You revert back to the lowest level of intelligence that you have. But what if your lowest level of intelligence out of a 10 is an 8? That sounds like a great problem to have. So I would say that's that final step.
I love it. That's good. So again, we don't come on here to give you theory without application. We're going to give you the theory and the application behind it so you can go out and implement. If you are saying that you're stuck, if you're saying that you need to go to the next level, if you're saying you don't know why things keep happening the way they do, I'm tired of where I'm at, you need to identify if your comfort zone is bigger than your why. And if so, take those 3 steps that we discussed, create that awareness, start moving to gain some momentum, and then reach back to help people and create your own or your next comfort zone. So take those steps, implement in your life, and we will catch you guys next time for another episode on the 7 Squared Podcast. Thanks for joining us.